Hello, fellow Biafrans all over the world, lovers of freedom, my people, join me today again. Today is 18th of May 2024. Let us continue. We are the Biafrans. Biafra is a nation springing up from West Africa, lovers of freedom all over the world. Join me, my people. I am live, and this is one of the Breji platforms where we bring you authentic information. Join me, my people, join me. Join me and let us continue. We are live here and it is direct. Join me, my people, we have to continue. And before I go on, I have to pray and say thanks to God, Almighty Father, God in heaven. I am thanking you today. It is another wonderful and beautiful day. We are happy and we are glad in it, Almighty God. Father Lord, we are Biafrans. We are leaving Nigeria and we ask you to come with us. If you are not coming with us, it will not be possible for us, but we know that you are with us. I commit my leader, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, and our PM, Simon Ekpa, into your holy hands. I also commit the entire Biafrans into your holy hands, my Lord, believing, my Lord, that you will continue to lead us until we achieve our goal. He say, thank you, Lord. Thank you, merciful Father. Thank you, Henry, for joining. Yesterday, you were not here. You know, I notice each and every one of you now because not many people join me when I'm streaming live. I hope you are doing good. Fellow Biafrans all over the world, join me, my people, in this process of our fight for liberation and freedom. In every day, there is a news, there is something new. If you look at the screen here, you will see the picture that says, Arch well, not well. And they said, Successes Foundation labeled delinquent by the authorities. That's the English journalist and the royal commentator, Mr. Michael Cole. I played this, thank you, Henry, for responding. I played this video yesterday, but in a hurry, you know, my people, yesterday we had seminar for ID vote registration. I rushed through certain things, and today I have come to play this video. Why I'm playing it is that Britain is a very good friend of Nigeria, and they are now openly talking about the position of Nigeria. So for those of you who are working haphazardly towards the achievement of our goal to bring Biafra and establish Biafra as a nation, being propelled currently by our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Obatobie one of Biafra land, it is imperative that we have to tell the world why we are leaving Nigeria. Let us not be in a hurry. We have to let the world see and to hear and to know and understand that Nigeria is a country that was forcefully amalgamated without proper explanation or proper consent of our forefathers. And since 114 years ago, we, their great-grandchildren, we are still suffering. And it is for those ones who have decided to sabotage the process of achieving this Biafra to know that when you sell your brother to your enemy, you will be the next target. That you don't have to sell your brothers and you don't have to sabotage what we are doing. That the whole world, including their friend, the Britain, is talking about it. So let me now play the video before I play the voice of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, so that you will all hear what they are saying. And I will, from time to time, pause it for us to discuss it, so that you will understand that Nigeria is no longer hidden with their evil agenda and their terrorism. The world is talking about it. We have to really work hard to live, because all these countries now mingling and working and dining and whining with Nigeria will definitely come to Biafra, because everybody wants peace. Everybody wants to go to a nation where there is peace, where they will get what they want in a quiet moment. That's all. But we aren't getting that. We have been with Nigeria for so many years, working tirelessly. Our fathers worked for them. We have grown and worked for them as well. Yet, Nigeria is not working. My people, Nigeria can never work. The people who are their very close allies and close friends are talking. Listen to them.
Often heard the phrase, the check is in the post. Well, that is what essentially the wonderful Duke and Duchess of Sussex are saying, because in America, they take charity vigilation very seriously. You cannot collect money from the public as a charity unless you register every year. And what has happened here, the Archwell Foundation, which is the charitable arm of the Montecito duo, has failed to send the check with the papers that they sent in for registration. Now, in this country, the Charity Commission, and you maybe want to look at this at some time, allows the registration of charities which are nothing like charities. They're dubious organizations which are following political or social agendas of their own, which have very, very little to do with the relief of suffering, which is what most of us understand by the word charity. So that's what's happened. They say that the check is in the post, and interestingly, the statement from Archwell in California spelled the word check in the British way.
Yeah, hadn't thought of that.
Americans never write check except C-H-E-C-K.
I know that, Mike. I lived there 10 years. But here's the thing. First of all, that excuse sounds to me like, Kinsey Schofield hit the nail on the head. It's a bit like a kid saying the dog ate my homework. It doesn't ring true. And there are reports that, in fact, Archwell, the foundation charity arm of it, has been delinquent since January. So this indication or implication that somehow it's just a recent bureaucratic blip doesn't necessarily stand up.
No, two middle-aged delinquents, not juvenile delinquents here. You would have thought they would tend to do this sort of thing. And as I say, maybe that response that was written with check in the British fashion was the work for the new PR. They've hired a top-rate PR guru from London to look after them. Of course, Meghan says she doesn't care about Britain. She says she's done with the UK, which, as you know, is an American way of saying they're finished with it completely and forever. She's done with the UK, but she is sufficiently concerned about their image in this country that she has hired a British PR to presumably burn her credentials and polish her image for the delight of us all.
My bet right now, Michael, is that PR is probably getting it in the ear because she did, in her own way, garner what could be interpreted as good publicity while they're in Nigeria. I have my doubts, but she's come back to this shambles, and all the good work that she thinks she did in Africa has basically dissipated. It's gone. Talk about this weird royal tour. If that's what gets them off, if they want to be adored.
Did you hear the way he described it? Weird pretense of Nigeria tour. Weird pretend. That is like a mockery of that visit. Let's listen to him.
And, you know, idolize as they tour African countries, fine, but they are treading on very, you'll know this, on very, very difficult ground, very tense ground.
You see, very tense ground in the sense that when they travel to certain countries, especially Nigeria, where they are ranked number 2nd terrorist nation in the whole world, 2nd terrorist country, as they are now in Nigeria, anything could happen. Someone could open fire, but you could see all these men, especially this one where my cursor is going. He is a security man. Those protecting them, he has with him their pistol, and they are all wearing bulletproof. That is not supposed to be so in a normal and quiet, peaceful country. When Biafra comes, they will not be going with this type of security men, hefty henchmen that were protecting him. He's an analyst. The journalist here called it a tense ground. Nigeria is under high tension.
Family doesn't just go, do you know what, where should we go for a tour? How about Australia? Let's go. Oh, yeah, we'll go there tomorrow. These tours are planned years in advance, and the countries that the royals honour with their visits are very carefully chosen. And
you see, a country that they can go like Australia, which they have to plan ahead of time, they are carefully chosen. You see the word he is using just to make you understand that Nigeria is not part of the country that they will be going in a hurry. You come and whisk the royals away to a terrorist country. That's why he used the word carefully chosen. You can't choose to go to a place where you know that anything can happen to you and you will not go and come back. That's why he used the word carefully chosen.
I'll tell you this, you'll know this, Michael, you've been on enough royal tours. There's no way our royal family would set foot in Nigeria.
Did you hear that? There is no way, Michael, our royal family will set foot in Nigeria. No way. This is a British journalist and the royal commentator Michael Cole.
A country where female mutilation, genital mutilation is rife, where women's rights basically don't exist, where hundreds of kids are regularly kidnapped by...
Have you heard it? He is listing it out. A country where female genital mutilation is rife, a country where women's rights are not respected, a country where children from schools will be abducted and the government will not do anything about it. Nigeria should hear this. It's shame on them. Their shame can never shame me because I am fighting to leave Nigeria. Anything that will make the world understand that those of them who live from far, watching them, feeling sad, should sympathize with us that have been there. We grew there as kids, we grew as adults, we grew as students, we grew as workers, working and serving that nation that can never be salvaged. Nigeria is gone. Once the British journalist starts talking about it, forget it, because you are gone.
Extremist Islam groups. This is not a country that should be endorsed by anyone, certainly not our royal family.
You see, he said that the Islamic extremist is there, everything is happening there. It is not a country that will be endorsed for their royal visit, for their royal family to visit them. So the world should hear this, they should see it, they should know it, that Nigeria is gone. I've never heard a British journalist saying this type of thing openly about Nigeria because they are very close friends. But you can imagine when your friend will sum the courage up to come and publicly talk about you this way, you have to rethink. You have to look at yourself and know what to change or what to do. But we have crossed that Rubicon. We are no longer asking for any change about Nigeria. Whether Nigeria changes, whether it does not, it is behind us. We Biafrans, we have to listen to this and know the reason why we have to keep moving ahead towards achieving Biafra.
And these two neophytes, they're naive in what they're doing. They're making this country look.
He said that they are very naive at what they are doing, trying to make Nigeria good when it does not deserve it, because they are royals. They look at themselves as very highly placed individuals and human beings, and they choose where they go to. Because when they come to your home, it means you are a good person. It means they are comfortable. It means you are capable of hosting them. But he has condemned any of these. None of this is in the agenda for the kind of country that they look at second time before traveling there. But you will also see why they traveled, because I have the video here. Who invited them and why they are there.
I couldn't tell you the number of royal tours I've been on, and what you say is absolutely right. You know, Nigeria.
Yes, Michael Cole told him that what you said is absolutely right, that he couldn't tell why they are there in the first place. He cannot tell. That he is very right, concurring to what the journalist is saying. The royal commentator, Michael Cole, commented what the journalist said. He said he's absolutely right. So why would anybody then expect us to be there? We are human beings. Our interest counts. We Biafrans, we have suffered in the midst of these people for so many years. So we have the right, natural right from God, and the right given by law, made by the authors of law. We have all these rights to be free and to have our liberty. Yes, when you see things like this going on and you fail to analyze it and you fail to work with it, then you have to check your brain. We Biafrans, those of you sabotaging, should have a rethink, because those people you look up to, they are talking to you directly and indirectly.
Nigeria, the Foreign Office, and the American State Department both say it's a dangerous destination. You must not go there.
Yeah, he said that the American and the British have said that Nigeria is a dangerous destination. That is the title of this very program. It's a dangerous destination. You cannot think of going there. Americans and Britain, these are the two countries that the whole world looks up to in anything they do. He said that he agreed with him because it's a very dangerous destination. And these royals are not supposed to go there.
Certainly not our royal family. And these two neophytes, they're naive in what they're doing. They're making this country look good when it doesn't deserve it.
I couldn't tell you the number of royal tours I've been on. What you say is absolutely right. You know, Nigeria, the Foreign Office, and the American State Department both say it's a dangerous destination. You must not go there. It vies with Johannesburg in South Africa to be the murder of the continent. And you and I know that in that country there's industrial scale boiler rooms of people who are ripping off people around the world.
Hello, my sister. Thank you. Good afternoon, Sister Betty. Blessed weekend. Every genuine Biafra fighter, freedom fighter that know what freedom means in people's lives. Yes. Thank you, my sister. You know, yesterday I was a bit tensed and was going through everything in a rush. Today I have time a little bit to analyze this royal visit, which prompted this royal commentator and the British journalist, you know, to talk to people, the world, because Britain is a very good friend to Nigeria. But for them to have this courage to publicly talk about Nigeria this way, you know that Nigeria is really bad. And I'm using it as a medium to tell the saboteurs that they have no home in Nigeria, and to encourage our people, the reason why they should vote and leave, that those of their friends in the Western world have started denying them because of the atrocities that goes on in Nigeria. That's why I am playing this again today, to analytically use it to wake the mind of the sleeping Biafrans. Those Biafrans who have decided to be used as stooges, as wicked and evil tools to derail the track of our progress and success. But not this time, not with our Prime Minister. He is a different species, and I am proud and happy with his administration and management of Biafra government in exile.
Internet fraud, wholesale internet fraud, defrauding old ladies, stealing identities, and none of that is ever prosecuted. Now,
Now he's talking about the internet fraud going on in these countries, mainly according to him, Zoo and South Africa. That's where he mentioned 2 African countries. We all know that this internet fraud, he's not just saying it, it's a reality. That's what goes on in Nigeria. The politicians are the internet criminals. Malami was one of them. He defrauded that country $2.8 billion crude oil that he sold to China, and he ran with it. He was the same one that protected Abba Kyari, the super cop, from being taken to America when Hush Puppy mentioned his name as an accomplice and the man that he uses to launder the money he makes from internet fraud. So now you will see that these people, they watch, they listen, they hear. Every news, they record it.
We know there he is on his polo pony playing in favor of one of his African charities. As we know, Prince Harry came back and said this country was not safe enough for him. He took his father's...
Did you hear that? Prince Harry came back and said that this country is not safe, which means that while he was there, he was filled with fear, but he was covering up as a human being. You know, sometimes when you are in a game and you are playing it with fear, you will not let people know that you are afraid of playing that dangerous game, but you are just covering up. He came back and said that he was scared. He was scared because someone could come there and open fire. Nigeria is such a country. You see the way they have described Nigeria?
Government.
Yeah.
Eventually, a judge slapped him down and said he couldn't have a permission to appeal. Otherwise, he would have appealed. Now, he's gone to that country there where it's an extremely dangerous place. He had, admittedly, 4 burly bodyguards with him.
He said he has gone to that country that is extremely dangerous place, but he went with 4 bodyguards. I was using my cursor to show you people one of the hefty bodyguards with him. Yet he was still scared because when these Fulani terrorists with AK-47 takes them on, my people, you know what it will be like. But God was very kind that Harry went there and came back. Nigeria should go and thank their God that nothing happened to Harry and Meghan.
But how he can maintain that the level of armed protection for him when he's in this country, and when we saw him adequate protection when he was outside St. Paul's, you could see the Metropolitan Armed Policemen around him. He was protected. So what was all that about? It was a defiance of common sense and...
You see, defiance of common sense. Defiance of common sense. That is to say, something you know that is not good and you cannot even take care of yourself, avoid going there. You defied that situation and you went. So this man is very analytical in what he is saying. And this analysis goes to point out at the situation, delicate situation in Nigeria. You can imagine this is just like 3 or 2 days visit. Everybody, they're analyzing it this way. What of those of us who grew up there, living on top of the keg of a gunpowder for so many years? This is why we are fighting for our freedom. This is why we need to leave the zoo.
Also reason. One wonders what goes on in his brain.
The man does not understand what goes on in his mind. He does not understand what at all that goes on in his brain. That's it. So, Biafrans, we have to really and truly leave Nigeria. Stop dragging your feet. Go and vote. Vote for your freedom. If you decide to go and keep taking bribe from the Fulanis, your children will take that bribe. Your grandchildren will take the bribe. And blood of innocent ones will be flowing without genuine reason. And now we have people like our PM who could walk even when the leader is not there. Why don't we take this opportunity and follow him? Do anything he said we should do, because he is working for our best interest. This is it. But you all will know that this visit was nothing but damage control and image building. Let me then play an evidential video that confirms what I have just said, because I like to come with evidence of what I'm saying. Nigeria is such a delicate country and a very dangerous destination.
This was the couple's first time in Nigeria on invitation of the Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa.
The Duke of Sussex and the Duchess.
Have you people heard it? You all know that this man is a military man, salaried man. He cannot pay Harry and Meghan the millions of dollars that they were paid before they travel. Or do you think that they just got up and went? After all, they no longer live in UK. They now live in America. And they are doing business to survive. They are royals by blood. But before Harry left UK, he relinquished his position. But his father, the current king of United Kingdom, did not, remove his titles. So he still maintained his title as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So their visit to Nigeria was paid for by the government, who is constantly using this man from Plateau, who does not know, or Kaduna, I think. He's a Christian. His name is Christopher Musa. Just to tell you that Nigerians, they never learn. What happened to Gowon, Yakubu Gowon, will still happen to him. Yakubu Gowon spied Biafrans in thousands, massacred them for the interest of the Fulanese. Now, what are the Fulanese paying Gowon back with? Buying their own people every day, not just 1 month or two, every day. And Gowon cannot help himself. This one, if he is not one of those that plotted the coup, I don't know. I'm not sure. But military people plotted coup. Our prime minister blew the whistle and they did not carry on. Now they decided to inject the president of the zoo because they want to take over. They are not happy. They are doing everything possible to build the image of Nigeria, but it can never work. Because you have heard this analyst and the journalist denying that the royals are not, the royal family are not happy that they went, because it's a dangerous destination. Nigeria is a dangerous destination. So this man may have invited them, but who may have paid for that tour is the government, because they are looking for anything to build their image up. Have they stopped all the terrorists that are in the bush? Gumi said the other day, I think on Wednesday, when I did a program, where Gumi was saying that they have 9-point-something million terrorists in the bush, that he wants the government to allow them to be the ones to keep guiding the bush with AK-47 in their hands. I don't know, Diane, if you were there that day and heard Gumi say it. Has this chief of army staff gone to bring out all the terrorists? What has this chief of army staff said to Nigerian government about putting or recruiting terrorists into the army? What has Christopher Musa said about the military in their uniforms going to towns and villages, burning homes. What has he said to them? Because that is his duty. Because people who wear military uniform to go and be harassing the citizens of that country, it is still his duty. They went to Oklahoma this same year by this military to burn a whole town, send the people to the villages inside the bush. They were in the bush for 3 weeks. What has this man done? But he has the idea to go and bring foreigners to come and make his country to look good. Has he actually done anything to make Nigeria look good, or the citizens of Nigeria to look good? But he is very quick to rush outside Nigeria to go and bring foreigners to come and make his country to look good. Yes, because sometimes you will be doing a program in a rush and people will not understand it. If this man has the power and the finance to sponsor the royal visit, why can't he use that same power to bring peace within his own country, which the politicians, the Fulanis in politics, are using his military to commit atrocities all over Nigeria? Everybody is scared. Scared of what? I will play you video, people, my fellow Biafrans, where the zoo people in diaspora abroad were saying their mind. Because if they are in the zoo, they will not say what they said. But let's listen to this video halfway, because we listened to it full yesterday.
For them to come down all the way, to come here and celebrate with those of our veterans that are injured is a great...
Okay, he wants them to come and celebrate with their militaries that were injured. Why were they injured? Is there any conventional war or any war declared in Nigeria? Why are his soldiers injured? You will see how people are so senseless. You will not heal the wound in your body, and you will be going to fetch someone to come and heal it for you. At his age, this man is not a young man. If he has brain to think that foreigners or royal family is capable of bringing a peace of mind to his wounded soldiers, how has he compensated those wounded soldiers? What sort of condition are they living? Last time here, I was showing you people the condition. If you see where these soldiers are living, like even where chicken, poultry is better than where they are living. This is how Nigerians think. You will spend millions of dollars or pounds to go and bring royals, but you cannot spend common naira to compensate your wounded soldiers and their families. We are all human beings. I'm not happy that anybody is wounded, but this is the predicament this chief of army staff or defense staff brought to his soldiers. Tell me, what has this royal visit now done to maintain these wounded soldiers? Thank you, my sister. Diane said, the evil happening in Nigeria is open to the world. Exactly. That's why I'm taking time for the world to listen and to know the kind of people we are running away from. We have been through this all our lives. My sister Diane said, the evil happening in Nigeria is open to the world, and they will know that it is caused by Fulani headers and the government that is looking for money and the relevance. All over the world, they won't get that relevance. We are burning that, the relevance is being burnt down. Yes, I've always left a disclaimer here that on this platform, we don't preach hate, we don't preach violence, we talk constructively and respectfully. We are freedom fighters asking the world to come to our rescue, showing the world the reasons why we are living. The military are used. I don't know whether he forgot to tell Harry that he is using these soldiers to burn innocent civilians' homes, so that I will see the kind of response that Harry will give him, because Harry is now in his 30s. He's matured enough to understand what that means. That the military in Nigeria are the ones burning the homes of Nigerians. I showed it here yesterday. How the military went to Enugu and burnt so many homes down. And this one is here looking for damage control and the image building by the royals. This is how they think. Tell me now the change or the difference that this royal visit has made in Nigeria, whereby the politician Fulanis are using the military to kill its own citizens on daily basis. And these are terrorists. After terrorizing the people, they will bring 100 of them or 500 of them and tell you that they have repented. And this Musa will encourage the government to put them in the military, untrained soldiers. I know that Nigeria government in those days, because my uncle was a major in the army before the war, they came to United Kingdom for training. Who trained these terrorists in uniform? Nobody. Nobody. That was why these men that I played their video, the journalist said that is a very dangerous destination. That Nigeria is not a country that deserves royal family visit. He said it. They don't deserve it because they are not a good country.
Privilege is a great honor, and it shows that people all over the world understand what it is to sacrifice for one's nation.
And wife men arrived in Nigeria to promote the Invictus Games.
Have you heard it? What he said, what Musa said, that it has shown the world. Let me play it back again.
Over the world understand what it is to.
This was the couple's first time in Nigeria on the invitation of the Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa.
The Duke of Sussex and the Duchess, for them to come down all the way, to come here and celebrate with those of our veterans that are injured, is a great privilege, is a great honor, and it shows that people all over the world understand what it is to sacrifice for one's nation.
That people all over the world understands what it is to sacrifice for one nation. Bringing the royals to the zoo is a sacrifice to his nation. For them to come and talk to the soldiers that were wounded is a sacrifice for his nation. What is wounding them? That is one thing he never told anyone. Why were they wounded? Were they fighting any war? Because they go fighting innocent people who have now picked arms to fight them back. That's why they were wounded. They were neither fighting the terrorist group nor keeping peace. They are the ones destroying the fabric of the society. Unfortunately, my fellow Biafrans are still trapped in the zoo. That's why we will not stop talking about them, exposing their terrorism and the evil act to the whole world. What they do to our people, what we went through as kids, went through as adults, and is still going through it mentally, because what happens to our people back home is affecting us. We are not happy. That's why we are fighting for freedom. That's why we will let the world know as well that this Mr. Christopher Musa is not man enough. He is not. What is he talking about? So, my people, we have to vote and vote and vote. You don't have to wait any longer. This
Fellow
vote is
Biafrans,
necessary.
my name is Marvelous Arinze Chukwumaoko. I say my popular vote. The Biafran e-voting is in progress and will be until December this year, 2020.
Yes.
We still have time. But the duration of time we have from now till then is to take that longer. Not too fast, we take the reason. The Biafran Prime Minister can only do his part, which doesn't need emphasis because it is obvious. He, Simon Ekpa, is entitled to one vote, just like every other Biafran. I respectfully urge you all Biafrans all over, old and young, to participate in the ongoing Biafran self-referendum public and assist those who need to be guided about it, to demonstrate our readiness in Nigeria. We may not all be in the army, in the media, or in the government, but together from Benue to Kogi, Enugu, Ebodo, Imo, Rivers, Delta, Cross River, Anambra, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Abia, and Biafrans all over the world. Together, we will vote to decide our future. Our vote must count. This is a new dimension.
Hello, my brother Sonny. Thank you for joining. You know, when we talk about Biafra, we talk about our voting, we talk about Nigeria. Let me tell you the reason we talk about Nigeria. We were all Nigerians. We worked for Nigeria, for it to be good, for it to be a nation, but it's not workable. It's not working at all. It has never worked because the Fulanis that have taken the upper hand to be the political head or the director of how things goes in that country, they are not getting it right. They either kill you or leave you a walking corpse. So now, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who saw tomorrow, our great prophet, he knows everything that is going on. And he started this very agitation. Now we no longer agitate. We have government in exile. Because after the abduction of Onyendu, God gave us another man in the person of our Prime Minister, the Obatobie, one of Biafra land, Mazi Simon Ekpa. He is the one now leading us, and he's leading us with speed. Yesterday, we had a seminar relating to our voting to tell you that when Biafra comes, everything will be working in accordance with our need and in accordance with the law and constitution. We are not animals like the zoo, because zoo is the only place you find animals. So we are human beings. We love life. We are developers. Our brain never stops working fast. You can all recall that when this self-referendum started, we started by voting. You have to put your picture. But on a very quick recap, our PM and his cabinet ministers 47 of them coming from different states of the 40 United States of Biafra. They quickly developed another system of voting. You have to call on a phone and you vote. Before you know it, they brought another wonderful idea of printing 1 million, more than 1 million, millions of cards, and sent it home to the, what are they called? To the ones at home who are in charge in homeland. Now our people are voting with speed. The rate at which they are voting, you will know that these people, they are really tired of living the zoo. Let me tell you, if assuming all the saboteurs plus the governors and the local authorities, they are 10 million. Remember, we are 70. We are still more in number that wants Biafra than those who don't want it because of what they gain. The infrastructure group, the governors, their deputies, and their local chairmen and their chiefs, they are not up to 10 million. So my people, we have to move. Everybody wants to live. Even if you live abroad, sometimes if you are lucky and you have children, they would want to go and know the origin of their father and mother. And you will go on holidays. But these days, nobody, no sensible person can do that. We no longer do it. So now we have a lady who is always there, Professor Chioma, that is always there to, to lecture our people. Very intelligent, very smart Biafran lady. She's a professor, she's a professor, and she knows what she is doing. This Biafra liberation is not about gossip. I know that we are many. Some of them use their own page to gossip about what goes on and to make fun. Some use it to do what we are doing. Some do a combination of both. But I personally, I'm not here for gossip, because Biafra is not a thing of gossip. I am here for reality. I want us to support our Prime Minister, because that man doesn't sleep. He is always thinking 24/7. Even there was a young man that was asking him on Twitter Space, when do you have time to sleep? And if you think of it, he doesn't actually sleep that long. Highest 2 hours, 3 hours, he's up because of time difference. When the time will be our morning, it may be his night. When it will be night in the other countries, it will be his morning. So, and he kept holding serious and various meetings. So, my people, he needs our support. Don't forget that today is our fundraising day. Today, Saturday, 7 p.m. Biafra time. That's why whenever we have anything, I will check the time and come maybe 2 hours or 3 hours early, so that it does not correspond with what we are doing. This is it. Hello, Nana La program. Are you coming? Yeah?
No, I wanted to talk to you.
No, I'll call you later. Sorry, my people. With two phones with different numbers, you will always expect call. I picked it because I don't know whether it is somebody who wants to talk to Biafrans. If anyone needs to call, please, the number is displayed here. We Biafrans, we have to go, we have to vote, we have to register, we have to go. Nobody will do it for us except us. So let's listen to her. It is a form of referendum. As we are voting, we are sitting at home. We're going to sit at home more for the 3 days to ramp up our voting. So we thank you all. So as we start, I said that the month of May is a very memorable month for Biafra. As a result, the Biafra government in exile, with the database and ID card committee, has a series of programs for Biafrans, starting from today. When we'll be talking about application for ID card, application for ID card, focusing on Biafrans who are undocumented all over the world. Then on the 29th, we have a program that will be focused on self-referendum voting. 30th, that's the day that we will be beating drums to vote ourselves out of Nigeria. And that vote will be in tribute to all our fallen heroes and heroines. On the 31st, we will be here for question and answers and another practical example of how to vote or complete your application, whatever it is that you want to do. So let us all be ready for the month of May. As those of us in diaspora are working hard to fund our freedom, fund our liberation, our brothers and sisters, parents, uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces, in-laws, they are lining up, voting in our self-referendum. We say hooray to them. Let us keep voting. Because this is the singular power that Nigeria can never take away from you. In Biafra, your vote counts. In Biafra, you take pride in your vote. We thank you all, and you can see how safe, how easy it is to vote. And this is when the government is still in exile. Imagine what Biafra nation will look like when the government is fully established in the homeland. And we put up a wall to wall off all the unwanted elements from our land. That is what you are voting for. Your freedom. So as our brothers and sisters are voting, those Biafrans in diaspora, what are you doing? If Biafrans in the homeland, they don't have light, they are bitten by mosquitoes because vote. Have you done that? You that can pick up the phone and make calls to your village, to your communities, to your towns, to your friends, to your relatives back home. Have you done that? You that can give 1 hour or 2 hours to help people vote. Have you done that? You in diaspora who can purchase data for other people in diaspora, because there are other family members in diaspora that may also need help. Have you done that? As you look at our brothers and sisters at home, brazen whatever it is to vote, I hope that diaspora Biafrans are doing what they are supposed to do. So now we've talked about the vote. Because before you sleep, you must talk about Biafra referendum voting. As you wake up, you must talk about that. So now that we've talked about the importance of voting, let us get into today's seminar, focusing on undocumented Biafrans, the type of Biafra identity card that they can get. Our team has some platforms where we communicate with people. If you have a problem, go to any of these platforms to chat with us or to get information. So if you are a Biafran and you are not on these platforms, please go and join. Even if you voted, even if you've applied for your ID card, I'm sure that there are people in your village, in your town, who are yet to vote, who are yet to register themselves as Biafrans if they are in the homeland, or apply for ID card if they are in diaspora. Looking for links to vote, you can go to the government website or directly to the Biafra Security Administration website. I will not forget to tell you that there is a convention coming up in Finland, November 29th, 2024. In that convention, a lot will happen. Do not miss it. Go now and register. Seats are filling up. So, who should use the ID card type D3 application form? If you are a Biafran residing in diaspora and you do not have legal documents from the country in which you reside, you need type D form ID card. This ID card will benefit all vulnerable Biafrans that may have difficulty obtaining legal residence permit from their countries of residence. And we know that there are different forms of immigration. Most Biafrans that are running away from the zoo may not even have the patience to follow some of these channels. They just wanna go and be gone. Such Biafrans may face difficulty integrating into the community. As you are facing that difficulty integrating into the host community, you want to be identified by your own government And for you to do that, you need this type D3 application form. We all know that Hello, my people. I hope you are understanding or following her. She talked about these D forms for registration, and it is quite long, very detailed, and if anyone do not understand, just give me a call sometime in future. I'm not stopping the video, but it's always good to understand that the people watching you or those listening to what is going on, that they are following. You know, they don't have time most of the time to go into detail, but I think this is somehow very self-explanatory. We as Biafrans are all over the globe. We are widely traveled, perhaps in our nature, but the main reason is running away from persecution by a government that is supposed to protect us. Initially, perhaps in the 80s, people may leave because they want to get better education. And then you ask yourself, the people you are running to for better education, do they have two heads? Absolutely not. When Biafrans get to their institutions, Biafrans will lead. You run away to that country to use computer when it is a Biafran that actually played a key role in that innovation. My brothers and sisters, let's make it make sense, because it's not making sense. The only reason we run away from home is to flee from persecution. To add salt. Yes, she is right to some extent. Some of us left because of persecution, and some left because they want to better their education and study. Some left because there is no job back home for them. But whatever the reason is, or whatever the reasons are, my people, time has come for us to unite, fight together as one to get our own freedom, our own nation, and our own liberty. We need it. We are this kind of people with the nature that we don't like to be in a very difficult environment, or we don't want to be begging or lack. You know, the Fulanese and up there in the north where we came from, they are beggars. Predominantly, the way we have many farmers is the way they have many beggars. We go to work for what someone will eat tomorrow, but their own is what they call bakwomi. Anything goes. In Narwana de Guru de Kiso, it doesn't concern me. That is their nature. But we like to work. We like to save for our children and for the rainy day. And the only way we can achieve this is not by you wanting to become somebody in a hole, because Nigeria is a hole, round hole. You can't move, you can't talk, you have no right to anything save from the right that they give you. And that is right to be their slave. They call us their slaves. Let's make no mistakes. That is the only right we have. to be seen as their slaves. And we cannot go through that anymore because it contains this feeling that doesn't make us happy, because that's not who we are. So we have to join hands to make it work. And one of those ways we have to make it work is by voting. And like a day as a Saturday is the day we do our own donations and contributions, knowing that we do not want our people back home to go to live in IDP camps. We need to support the BLA who are safeguarding our homes. So many people that live abroad, they have beautiful houses at home. If these people don't safeguard it, you will find these Fulanis living in your beautiful mansion. So many things is at stake, or so many things are at stake. My people, we really have to buckle up. We really have to work together. We really have to wake up from slumber and stop, behaving ignorantly. This is our time to go. Now that we have a wonderful man who does nothing but talk about Biafra, our prime minister, he breathes Biafra. He gives the air Biafra. He thinks Biafra. He does Biafra. Why don't we follow suit and work hand in hand with him? It's not just by mere word, but practically by doing something positively towards achieving that goal. One person cannot do it, unfortunately. He needs our support.
Insult to injury. As you are running, you are carrying this thing here. You see this green thing? That's what we all carry.
That green thing is the green passport.
Now that Nigeria as an entity and this green thing that represents Nigeria, they call it passport, are being viewed in the most negative light around the world. Biafrans that are widely traveled are at the mercy of their host countries. Biafrans are oftentimes victimized simply because you have this green thing. As soon as anybody sees that, there is this thing that flips up in there.
Yes, my people. There was a time I was coming back from the zoo when I was still using the passport before I got my British passport. I always like to use myself as an example because we are in this individually and collectively.
Oh, Nigeria, oh, criminal.
As we were coming back,
do you really want to be a sushi?
Come and see the queue. And when it got to my turn, I noticed that there are a group of people on a side, and I was directed to go there. And I now asked one of us, he said to me, I don't know why they are keeping us here. I don't know why. And I later noticed that everyone there are Nigerians with green passport. Some of us, they didn't give us back our passport. Some of them, they gave us our passport because then I have indefinite leave to remain. So what our sister is saying is correct. With this green thing, there are countries you will travel to with it. You will be sent across or by the side to go and wait without proper explanation of what your offense is. You see it? So my people, we have taken all this pain for so many years answering Nigerians. We have to say no to that stigma and pursue our nation.
Associated with that? Absolutely not. So, the Biafra Republic government in exile, seeing all that is happening, certain things are unprintable. Can't even bring them here. The government, which is government of the people, by the people, you and I,
and for
you and I, meaning that government itself, you are the government. The government is you. Cares for Biafrans because you must care for self. The government, knowing that the duty of the government is to protect citizens, both home and abroad. And we know that when a government fails in that duty, you do not preserve that government. This our government, the Biafra Republic government in exile, takes the protection of self seriously. Because of that, the government is doing everything possible to identify Biafrans. I said there are things unprintable. One of such things, when over 50 Nigerians were burnt in a supposedly African country. We all have seen it. If you can stand it, I couldn't watch the.
My people, it was terrible. It is no less a country than South Africa. I don't know why that is happening. The last time I traveled to South Africa was 2020, before COVID. That was the last time I'd been to South Africa on 2 different occasions. But my people, it was our Biafrans and the Yorubas. Honestly, you cannot find any Fulani man in any of these countries abroad because they are the ones milking the oil, now found gold in Zamfara. So their money is, they make it in millions, in dollars. They are very comfortable, pushing us away from our land, pushing us away from our own land. And our boys are there. If you see the goring sight of this attack, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, is on our Prime Minister's Twitter handle. And our Prime Minister was mad about it. He spoke to Julius Malema directly and their president to do something. Ndị be anyị ife a dịka ụmụaka, maybe, let me not lie, about 10 or 20, 15 of them. Gbuo ụmụaka ọbara na-awụ ka mmiri, welu taya nyanyefa n'olu mụnye ọkụ. One of them ekunie fa welu osisi tigidie n'isi until ọda. This is why we have to go and build our own nation, my people. Because they are using any means to make sure that they destroy us. These Fulanis Assuming they are even smart to be friendly, bring their people in, give them this green passport, and we all live in peace. Nobody will be agitating to leave. But no, they are buying people, they will marginalize you, they will not allow you to be the president, they will not even look at the riverine area where this oil is coming from. I showed it here yesterday, and you all saw it. A place where the oil that made Nigeria what it is coming from. So what she has just said makes a whole lot of sense. You know, we have to really live. I got up on there. You know, I won't play this for too long. You know, I wrote down all the Form D types, and I can explain that because she is just making people, creating awareness as to the reason why we need to vote. And that is what we need. We need it because some of our people don't listen.
Watch the video to the end. Unprintable. The entity called Nigeria, we all know, will never talk about this. The individuals that were burnt may not even have a birth certificate. There's no registry where they are recorded.
No record.
As human beings. And if there's no registry of birth, there won't be any registry of death. All these people would die and be forgotten.
Yes.
They only live in the memories of their families. And some of them, the families may not even know that they are dead. Mothers and fathers will be waiting to hear from their sons and daughters that fled Nigeria to avoid being killed. These people left looking for better life, safety, but they ended up dead. Now think about if these people are all in a database and we know they are in South Africa. At the very least, we will begin to look for them to identify who they are. They will be given befitting final rest. That is the job of a government. But Nigeria would not talk about them, would not address it, because they know they are mostly Biafrans. Why do you have to apply for this type D card if you are undocumented living in diaspora? The old Enugu state in Biafra land, a community was ransacked by animals in human form when they left. The other animals in army uniform came in and burnt the community down. You ask yourself, why? Ethnic cleansing, wipe them off and take over. Some of these people that died may have sons and daughters in diaspora who may or may not be doing okay, who may or may not have the proper documentations to at least say, I am this person. It is important that we identify with our own government. Nobody else will do it for you except you. If the government of Biafra knows who is who, at the very least, when you call and say, this is Chukwudi Eke, you will be asked, and then perhaps looked up in the database, and yes, he's a Biafran. The man here wearing the funny hat, he knows about all these, because he even said that the entity Nigeria looks more like a motherland, not motherland. But guess what? He will never mouth the right things that you have to do, so that it will be a motherland. This man is a Biafran, at least from his name. People that are in diaspora may be calling on him, telling him, hey, what do we do? They are killing people. He will only tell them to pray. No. Prayer without work equals nothing. That's a lazy man's way out of a problem.
Yes.
And your God will even be angry with you when you are bothering him without doing that which you are supposed to do as a human being.
Yes, my people. You know, in what she has just said, that when people are telling the priest that that man he showed wearing funny hat, according to her, is a bishop, and he said that they are buying people in the area where this bishop is, and the bishop is the one telling them to pray. She said now that God will be angry with you. Why? Because you and I, we have to do something. Is there not a saying that said that God help those who help themselves? All these countries, including Israel, where our Lord Jesus Christ was born, his father and mother, they were all Israelites. Are they not fighting? Did they now say, oh God, come and fight for us? Even in Old Testament, for those of us who are Christians, in the Old Testament, you will see that most of the wars that people of those that biblical years fought, God will send angels to go and tell them to go and find out from these seers what they have to do before they go to war. He never said to them, don't fight. Don't worry, I'm coming to fight it for you. No way. So for those who will be telling you, oh, it is prayer. Yes, prayer, you pray to God and thank him, not praying for him to come and fight for you. How many times will God fight for us? He fought for us by giving us Jesus. Jesus died for our sakes. And there are still human beings. Do we have to expect Jesus to come and be fighting for us every day? There are things we have to do by ourselves. Even some people will tell you that you people are looking for freedom. You are not serious. That we are not serious. I know how many people, since I started doing this, what people have been telling me, what they suggest we should do in order to get our freedom. And they never said, oh, go and tell your enemy to do this for you, or go and tell God to come and fight for you. Exactly what she just said now. We have to do the fight. We have to fight for our liberty and our freedom. We have to talk to the world. It's not the world that will come and start talking to us, because every country, they have their own problem to take care of. That's why this government in exile was there in the first place, because we are not the first and we are not going to be the last. Life goes on, but how do you live your own life? As you make your bed, so will you lie on it? They never said, as others make your bed, and that is how you will lie. They will also always say to you, as you make your bed, so will you lie on it. That's what she's saying. So my people, to cut this whole story short, I don't want this video to be too long because today is our fundraising. She made mention of from type D3 for those Biafrans who live in diaspora without documentation in the country where they live. And the reason, according to her, is for Biafra to know that though you don't have your document, but this is where you are. Because it is the duty of the government to look out for its citizens. And Form D4 is for those Biafrans in homeland. Those Biafrans who are really Biafrans within the homeland, within the 40 states of Biafra. And she says that from D5 is those Biafrans who either live with close to Biafra land but not in the homeland. For instance, if a Biafran is living in Abuja or in Plateau State, Jos, or in Bauchi, or in Kano, or in Lagos, you can complete this D form, type D5. You are in the zoo, but you are a Biafran in another state. Form type D5 is for you. You complete it and make sure you complete the details properly, especially your name, your state, and your date of birth. If you have children, you will put it there, their names and their age. Though that you put in your children's name according to the question somebody asked her yesterday. If you put your children's name, assuming they are adults, it does not stop them from completing their own form. Because this is like what she said now. Date of birth. In the UK where I live, they have a registry where they keep names of date of birth. And they have another one where they keep names of those who have died. So they have these two. When you are born, the date you were born, your name that your parents gave you, the name of your parents, the father and the son, will be there. And they will issue you that certificate. If you lose that certificate and you go back to that registry, they will issue you another certificate, similar one to the lost one, and that one you have to pay for it. But the first one is free. But if you lose your own, that time when you are going for a second one, you pay for it. The same thing happens to date of death. So this is why even if your parents put your name in their own form, if you are 18 years and over, you will be required to complete the same registration. So Biafra is taking off afresh, having every Biafran included, and they are ready to look after you. And we should also endeavor to look after Biafra by supporting it to come. So my people, I will leave you people here. I thank those of you that were able to turn up. God will continue to protect us, guide us, and keep us. He say we should all remember to pray for our Prime Minister pray for the release of our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He is the man that opened our eyes and our mind's eye, because the mind has eyes. And that is the one I want you people to really keep open, always. Lotakwanu, onye ndị ilo gbara gburugburu na-eche ndụ ya nche mgbe niile. Ụmụ Biafra, unu alarụkwa n'ụla. We will continue with this struggle until Biafra comes. All hail Biafra, peace, progress, unity, and equity. Thank you, my people. I love you all. And I say, nice weekend to all of you. By the special grace of God, I will also talk to you people tomorrow. Remember our PM tomorrow, Sunday. He is having a visit to Israel by 7 p.m. Biafra time. Join us, my people. Have a nice weekend and God bless you all. All hail Biafra.